Okay, that is 1/4 past the hour, and that is the time, the appointed hour, when we're going to begin the final session of this kind of marathon Sangha day. One of the things we wanted to do with this sequence of events is follow the kind of traditional watches of the day and night, when people would, divide the day and night up into sections. And when you read translations of the Buddha's story, the Buddha gains enlightenment, goes through the whole process of enlightenment in the watches of the night. Now, it's not night everywhere, it's night where I am, it's night where quite a number of you are. But I'm kind of particularly aware that this whole day for us online began with the rising sun in New Zealand. Friday night, my time, in the United States of America. But we kind of gathered and watched the sun come up at Sudarshana Loka. And we began with land acknowledgement, with gratitude and connection to the ancestors. We also began with some talks where there were some real evocations of the sorrow of 2020 as a year, the pandemic, the division, the struggle to find light at times, and of course what blossomed from that space of openness and vulnerability and honesty was just the further evocation of the support of the Sangha, the practice of community that helps us transform our loneliness, our individual and collective pain into something worth getting up for in the morning, something that can sustain our noblest dreams through all the watches of the night. So a particular welcome to those joining us at the other end in the Southern Hemisphere, again with the second sun of their day. Welcome wherever you are, whatever season it is, whatever hour or weather you're enjoying. I'd like us to kind of do this puja in the sort of frame of mind of thinking, here we all are in the Buddha's country. This is what we're doing on Zoom. We're building the Buddha land. And this is what it looks like. It's us. There is no Buddha land apart from living beings, and we are the living beings. So it's my kind of pleasure to do the last appeal of the day. We've been kind of going through this cycle of events. I was going to say cycle of emotions. Every time I watch one of these fundraising videos from Future Dharma, I kind of feel a bit welled up and choked up because, again, that is our community. It's not an abstraction. It's people's lives, people doing extraordinary things, sometimes in very difficult circumstances. We just saw a very beautiful evocation of that in the last session with the work going on in India amongst the ordination teams, just training people for a completely different life, a completely different take on reality. And we're going to have another appeal in a second, which I have to say I'm slightly shamefaced about because it's for the Buddhist Centre Online. Who knew? I don't know how that happened. I'm assuming somebody intended that to happen, probably Liz. Thanks, Liz. The kind of work of the Buddhist Centre Online, and in a way the work of this event, is such a collective affair. It's not even just Dharma Chakra, the team that I happen to work for. It's become this kind of people, in a way. Putting on these events is just like a sort of seamless handing off of things between people. And we're going to do a little handoff in a minute of a candle from Buddha Palata to myself. I'll bring him onto the screen actually, but we'll do that after the appeal. But we're going to watch this video, and some of the work you see in this, the kind of evocation of something that connects Triratna around the world, it's not really just electronics, and it's not really just about money to pay the teams who do all this. It's almost like this is how our lifeblood flows in this particular era. If there's no communication, there's no Sangha. So I'm going to show you the video in a little second. Basically, you've heard the spiel a number of times today. I'll try and make it my own. The Buddhist Centre Online is one of only about 30 projects that Future Dharma helps support. And it's easy to kind of hear fundraising appeals for things like Future Dharma and just kind of think, oh, well, I know what that is. But I'll bet you don't. I bet you don't really know what it is that they support, like all the people that they support. It's totally amazing. And they've got this target of trying to raise £30,000 today and over the next few days, I guess. And that money will help support beings in the Sangha who do Dharma work day in, day out, all day round, all year round, in different parts of the world. And they're kind of asking us to connect with them. Yeah, they're asking us to kind of take a stand with them and just be with them in their work. So if you're in a position, not everybody can give at the moment. The world's going through a pretty crazy time. So if you're not in a position to give, that's totally fine. If you are in a position to give, or it feels like a bit of a stretch, but you think you might be able to do it, I'd really encourage you to give, because A, you'll feel really good about it. B, it will do a lot of good in the world. And C, for all the people who can't afford to give, they need those of us who can to stand up and be counted. So please do just, stretch in your mind. The numbers are nice and friendly. If you give £120 or £10 a month, which in the United States is less than a Netflix subscription. Yeah. You can do something even more useful than Netflix, if that's to be believed. You can take out a subscription to Future Dharma and help pay for something magic, like truly transformative. So I'm going to show you a video about the Buddhist Centre Online, and we'll put the link in the box, and I'll say a little more about it on the other side of the video. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme that fab? Isn't that fab? These people are our family. That's our family. All those people doing all that stuff. It's kind of remarkable in a way. It was almost strange seeing people in the big tent at Adhisthana and thinking, gosh, that happened. We used to do that together. We'd all come together and like get in big tents. And I guess we'll do that again at some other point, but right now this is the biggest tent we have. And it's kind of like, I guess we're about to do the Sutra of Golden Light Puja, and Ruchiriketu's house in the sutra that it's based on just gets cosmically enormous. So maybe just, imagine that the tent that you saw in that video has just got cosmically enormous, and it can now canopy the whole universe. And we're like the first 75 people or so in it. We're the people holding up the tent. So if you can give, you'll see the link in the chat just now. There's a relatively small number in worldly terms of people who give regularly to Future Dharma. If you're not one, become one. That's what I'd suggest. Or just send your goodwill, and it's one of us who can do it. We'll hold you in mind whenever we give our Netflix money every month. There you go. That's the resolution. And so we're going to do a little handoff now from the last session from Buddha Palata, who's the light of the world for many people. He's gonna hand over the torch to this session. Whoa, did you see that? How cool was that? It's amazing. This is like particularly fast broadband lets us do this. We can transfer whole candles across space and time. In fact, I'm going to go put this with the rest of the candles in the background. And this is going to be the flavour of the session. So I don't know how many of you have ever done a puja in India. One of my favourite things about pujas in India is that people just get up and move around in the middle of them. So the Sutra of Golden Light Puja, which we'll come on to in a second, is quite a long text. But it's a beautiful text, and we're going to make it go so fast you'll hardly notice. But one thing we'll encourage you to do is just to get up and move around. If you hear something in the verses that you feel moved by, go and make an offering to your shrine. Yeah, and we're going to have some music, we're going to have some chanting. At any point when you feel moved, just make an offering. Let the whole thing be a giant offering. We won't have a separate space for offerings, so don't be shy. Just get up and move your body to the wonderful words. Finally, here we are. We're at the last session. It's been an amazing day. And we wanted to do this puja partly because one of the things that people do at this time of year, wherever you are in the world, is to set your resolutions for the next year to come. And so we wanted to do a kind of advanced New Year's resolutions puja for 2021. And we thought it would be the best thing just to do that together, to set our intentions together. Because again, there's just us. We're the Dharma family. So we're going to do puja together. I'm going to do it with my friends who I'm about to introduce you to. We're going to chant some strange, wonderful, challenging, beautiful words. And what that means is we're going to take a stand on our minds, recognizing that our minds make the world that we experience. So we're going to take our stand on the Dharma, on that basic fact of the Dharma, that it's up to us what we do with our minds. And this is what we want to do with our minds tonight, or this morning, or this afternoon, is take our minds on this kind of stuff. So we're going to do it as friends, just like the last session. And all my friends could now unmute themselves. We lost Suddhayu again. Is he back?
Yeah, he's back.
He's back, there he is. Good. Yeah, you can all unmute yourselves. So I'm extremely lucky because I get to do this with some pals and people I love dearly who I've known for a long time. And I'm going to let them speak a little bit first before we do any of the puja, just about what it means to them. So Viriyalila, who I've known for donkey's years and has just been the most tremendous friend to me and is one of the people I enjoyed teaching the Dharma most with. We always have a really good time doing stuff together. So welcome, Viriyalila.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me to be a part of this puja, Candradasa. I want to say I really enjoyed the appeal video, so thank you to Liz, I believe, who made that. I've been in the Dharma Chakra team for a long time. Really appreciate it. This puja for me is very, very special because confession as a practice took a front seat in my practice as a Buddhist within the first month or two that I came across Buddhism and Triratna. And I was on a train en route to my first long retreat at Taraloka, and I read the Sutra of Golden Light, this copy of it, which was probably backwards on your screen there. But yeah, I was just blown away on this train by Richard Ketu beating this drum and healing the world. These verses of confession. Yeah. So I'm just really grateful to be here. I think that's all I'll share. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to hearing you give voice to the beautiful confession. And how about you, Suddhayu? Suddhayu is probably... Right, are you allowed to have best friends in the Sangha? I suppose you are. Suddhayu is probably my best friend. And he turned 50 2 days ago. So like we should all sing happy birthday to him at the end of the puja, maybe. But welcome, Suddhayu. He's been struck dumb.
There we go. Sorry, I've been having a host of technical difficulties. So my relationship with this sutra goes back to the mid-90s when we were still listening to Mitra study courses on cassette tape. And I had a dream about this when we were studying it. And I was in my bedroom in the community I was living in at the time at Aryaloka. And the Persian rug that was on the floor was being hit with the morning light in the dream. And I was looking at the rug and I didn't recognize the shapes. And I realized that the shapes were communicating and they were a form of Sanskrit and somehow I could read it. And I woke up hearing the chapter on confession resonating as I woke up to the early morning sunlight coming into the room. So it was a really, really strong experience. And the sutra has always had a special place for me since then. And I connected with the puja at Guyaloka. It was a significant part of the Guyaloka retreat. And I really connected with it there as well.
Suddhayu has got just the voice and just the temperament for this puja, which you hear how mythic he gets with it. There's a couple of other people on the screen. You're going to hear from Sravaniya in a little minute in a special way. That's your little teaser for him. There's another being, Richard Ketu, you'll see in the centre of the screen. Richard Ketu is going to be playing the drum for us throughout the puja today. I'll say a little bit about how we're going to do this. Actually, first I'll say hi to Sadaruchi again. Sadaruchi was in the last session, so you probably all met her there. But Sadaruchi is also a really great friend of mine, and she is the most delightful, generous person. I can literally message Sadaruchi at the drop of a hat and say, can you translate this whole document into Spanish? And she's like, sure. Or, can you show up and do the Sutra of Golden Light puja with us? And she's like, of course. You know, it's totally magic. So thank you, Sadaruchi. You are beautiful and wonderful. I can't hear her because she's in the Spanish room. Just in case you missed it, we do have simultaneous translation in Spanish if you want to hear that. If you'd rather hear Spanish language version of the puja, you can go down to your toolbar and click interpretation and choose Spanish, and you'll hear the wonderful voice of Sadhruchi. Yeah, so before we get started, this puja, if you haven't done it before, is like a trip around the sun, or if you're like a Pink Floyd fan, it's a trip into the heart of the sun. And the drum that Viriyalila mentioned is also the sun. It's the drum of the Buddha. It's described as shining like the sun everywhere. It glowed in the 10 directions. The Dharma is pure sound, and we join our voices to the sound of the drum. We're going to do it as friends in the round. So you're all muted. Please stay muted if you can, otherwise it'll be totally chaotic. We're going to do, one person's going to chant, one person is going to do the response. So call, response, and you can chant along at home. Please do with the responder. So Viriyalila will go first, Suddhayu will respond, then Suddhayu will take over, I'll respond, then I'll take over, etc. And if you wonder what Sravaniya is going to be doing, Sravaniya is going to play us in and play us out with some improvised music, which he'll say a little bit about when we get started. And he's also going to drum for us in between each section of the puja. And I'd really encourage you to use those spaces, use them to make an offering, use them to reflect on your resolutions for the coming year. Like, what are your Dharma resolutions? What do you want to carry with you into 2021? And let Sravaniya's music and drum beats just carry your best intentions forward. This puja, as you know, is all about transformation from the great vision of Ruchiraketu and the Buddha. The sutra is kind of uncompromising. It uses the word evil a lot. My friend Dasani calls it a heavy metal puja, which is sort of true, but it's also a work of deep refinement and grace, finely tuned, deeply honest. It gets under all the veils that we hide behind, and our shining faces are revealed. So we're going to take part together in this giant enactment of liberation, cosmic drama, cycle of ritual transformation, and hopefully at the end of it we'll all have turned into beings of the light, maybe phoenixes, people of the sun, or people of the moon, which just reflects the light of the sun differently. So we're about to enter a bigger reality. It's probably a good idea to bow to something before you start. Should we just all bow to each other to start? And when Sravaniya is ready, he'll get us started.
Greetings, everyone. So, like Suddhayu and Viriyalila, it's the aspect of confession that I've been attracted to Sutra Golden Lights, particularly this puja. And I was at Pamaloka sometime, I can't actually remember the year or the Indian order member I was speaking with, but I was on a 2-week retreat and he was about to leave, having spent a year at Pamaloka. So I asked him, what would he remember about his year? Can you hear me?
You're a little quiet, Sravaniya. Could you maybe turn your mic up or lean towards it a bit more? So you're probably holding like a drum and a violin and just about every...
How about if I bring my computer? Is that better?
Yeah, see, it worked perfectly in rehearsal. He was so clear.
Is this better?
Marginally.
Yeah.
Can you go into your, if you go into your settings on Zoom
Settings.
and just turn up the microphone? If I could do it for you, I would.
Is that input level?
Yes.
It doesn't seem to respond. Yes, it's not responding actually.
Okay, just yell at the top of your voice then, and we'll listen.
Hold on. Is this better?
Yay! The Buddhas are with us.
Okay, shall I begin again?
Yeah, go on.
Anyway, I was at Padmaloka sometime in the end of the 90s, and I've been there a couple of weeks. And I had dinner with an Indian order member whose name, sadly, I can't remember. And he had been there a year, was just about to depart. So naturally, I asked him, what would you remember about your year at Padmaloka? And he said, what I'll remember is Padma Vajra's confessions. He said Padma Vajra would always sort of lay it on the line. And I thought that really stuck with me. That really made an impression on me. And so I said, well, that's going to be my sort of yardstick, as they say. And so I've in a way, sort of gravitated to confession as a strong practice. And in as you'll hear, if you don't know it, there's one of the confessions is confessing to oppression of time, which when I first read it hit me like a thunderbolt, because I think I'm guilty of the oppression of time. Anyway, I will begin with a kind of semi-planned improvisation, and we'll see where that takes us.
So I'll just invite everyone again to make offerings at any point in the puja that you would like. The Sutra of Golden Light Puja. Firstly, worship and homage. I worship the Buddhas,
I worship the Buddhas,
who are like oceans of virtues,
who are like oceans of virtues,
mountains gleaming with the color of gold,
mountains gleaming with the color of gold,
like Samaru, the king of mountains,
like Samaru, the king of mountains,
even with hundreds of voices,
even with hundreds of voices,
in 1,000 aeons.
in 1,000 eons.
The Buddha's virtues cannot be told,
The Buddha's virtues cannot be told,
for the conqueror's qualities are supreme.
for the conqueror's qualities are supreme.
They are all-encompassing and without number.
They are all-encompassing and without number.
The virtues of a single Buddha
The virtues of a single Buddha
can never be told.
can never be told.
Each Buddha is golden,
Each Buddha is golden,
shining like pure gold.
shining like pure gold.
He has fine eyes,
He has fine eyes,
pure and faultless like sapphire.
pure and faultless like sapphire.
His shapely limbs are as pure gold,
His shapely limbs are as pure gold,
and his body shines
and his body shines
with all the marks of excellence.
with all the marks of excellence.
The Buddha is a blazing fountain
The Buddha is a blazing fountain
of glory, splendor, and renown.
of glory, splendor, and renown.
He is a Buddha sun,
He is a Buddha sun,
removing the darkness of the three realms.
removing the darkness of the three realms.
With his rays of compassion,
With his rays of compassion,
he soothes the tortured minds
he soothes the tortured minds
of those consumed by the fire of the impurities.
of those consumed by the fire of the impurities.
With the sage's meshes of moonbeams,
With the sage's meshes of moonbeams.
homage to the Buddha,
Homage to the Buddha,
whose enlightenment is pure,
whose enlightenment is pure,
who is eloquent in the pure Dharma,
who is eloquent in the pure Dharma,
who is free from all evil ways,
who is free from all evil ways,
who has pure understanding of life's true nature,
who has pure understanding of life's true nature.
How endless is the Buddha's glory,
How endless is the Buddha's glory,
who is a bringer of joy,
who is a bringer of joy,
a bringer of good,
a bringer of good,
a bringer of blessing,
a bringer of blessing,
the source of every inconceivable blessing.
the source of every inconceivable blessing. going for refuge and great aspiration. With my head I bow down to all the Buddhas.
With my head I bow down to all the Buddhas.
Now and forever,
Now and forever,
I go for refuge to all the Buddhas.
I go for refuge to all the Buddhas.
I will worship the Buddhas in the 10 directions.
I will worship the Buddhas in the 10 directions.
I will deliver from all woe,
I will deliver from all woe,
all beings throughout space.
all beings throughout space.
I will establish in the 10th stage.
I will establish in the 10th stage
All the inconceivably many beings.
all the inconceivably many beings.
May they then become Tathagatas.
May they then become Tathagatas.
I will follow the Bodhisattva career
I will follow the Bodhisattva career
for millions of eons,
for millions of aeons,
for the sake of every single being,
for the sake of every single being,
until everyone is delivered
until everyone is delivered
from the ocean of woe.
from the ocean of woe.
I will make shine the Buddha qualities.
I will make shine the Buddha qualities.
I will cross over from the ocean of existence,
I will cross over from the ocean of existence,
and I will fill the flood of the Buddha sea,
and I will fill the flood of the Buddha sea,
the deep ocean of virtues and omniscience,
the deep ocean of virtues and omniscience,
with inconceivable Buddha qualities.
with inconceivable Buddha qualities.
May I become an excellent Buddha
May I become an excellent Buddha
with hundreds of thousands of samadhis,
with hundreds of thousands of samadhis,
with inconceivable mantras,
with inconceivable mantras,
with all the powers and virtues of supreme enlightenment.
with all the powers and virtues of supreme enlightenment.
Namo tassa
Namo tassa
bhagavato arahato
Bhagavato arahato
samma sambuddhassa.
Samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa
Namo tassa
bhagavato arahato
Bhagavato arahato
samma sambuddhassa.
Samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa
Namo tassa
bhagavato arahato
Bhagavato arahato
samma sambuddhassa.
Samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami,
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
dhammang saranang gacchami,
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
sanghang saranang gacchami,
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami,
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami,
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami,
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Panatipata
Panatipata
veramani
Veramani
dekapadang
Sikkhapadang
madhyami
Samadhyami
adinadana
Adinadana
veramani
Veramani
dekapadang
Sikkhapadang
samadhyami
Samadhyami
kamesu
Kamesu
mechachara
Michachara
veramani
Veramani
dekapadang
Sikkhapadang
samadhyami
Samadhyami
musavada
Musavada Veramani
dekapadang
Sikkhapadang
samadhyami
Samadhyami
suramerya
Suramerya
majja
Macha
pamadatana
Pamadatana
veramani
Veramani
dekapadang
Sikkhapadang
samadhyami
Samadhyami
sadhu
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 Sadhu.
with deeds of loving kindness
With deeds of loving kindness,
I purify my body.
I purify my body.
With open-handed generosity
With open-handed generosity,
I purify my body.
I purify my body.
With stillness, simplicity, and contentment
With stillness, simplicity, and contentment,
I purify my body.
I purify my body.
With truthful communication
With truthful communication,
I purify my speech.
I purify my speech.
With mindfulness clear and radiant
With mindfulness clear and radiant,
I purify my mind.
I purify my mind. Confession. May the Buddhas watch over me.
May the Buddhas watch over me.
With minds attentive.
With minds attentive.
May they forgive my faults.
May they forgive my faults.
With minds given over to compassion.
With minds given over to compassion.
On account of the evil done by me previously.
On account of the evil done by me previously.
Even in hundreds of aeons.
Even in hundreds of eons.
I have a troubled mind.
I have a troubled mind.
Oppressed with wretchedness, trouble and fear.
Oppressed with wretchedness, trouble and fear.
With an unhappy mind.
With an unhappy mind.
I continually fear evil acts.
I continually fear evil acts.
Wherever I go,
Wherever I go,
there is no enjoyment for me anywhere.
there is no enjoyment for me anywhere.
All the Buddhas are compassionate.
All the Buddhas are compassionate.
They remove the fears of all beings.
They remove the fears of all beings.
May they forgive my faults.
May they forgive my faults.
And may they deliver me from fear.
And may they deliver me from fear.
May the Tathagatas take away from me.
May the Tathagatas take away for me
The defilement of impurities and acts.
the defilement of impurities and acts.
And may the Buddhas bathe me
And may the Buddhas bathe me
in the surging waters of compassion.
in the surging waters of compassion.
I confess all the evil previously done by me.
I confess all the evil previously done by me.
And I confess all my present evil.
And I confess all my present evil.
For the future, I undertake to refrain.
For the future, I undertake to refrain
From all acts evilly done.
from all acts evilly done.
I do not conceal whatever evil I may have done.
I do not conceal whatever evil I may have done.
The threefold bodily act.
The threefold bodily act.
And the fourfold with the voice.
And the fourfold with the voice.
As well as the act in the three ways with the mind.
As well as the act in the three ways with the mind.
All this I confess.
All this I confess.
What I have done with my body.
What I have done with my body.
What I have said with my voice.
What I have said with my voice.
And what I have thought with my mind.
And what I have thought with my mind.
The tenfold act I have done.
The tenfold act I have done.
I confess it all.
I confess it all.
May I avoid the 10 evil acts.
May I avoid the 10 evil acts.
May I practice the 10 good acts.
May I practice the 10 good acts.
I will remain in the 10th stage.
I will remain in the 10th stage.
I will become an excellent Buddha.
I will become an excellent Buddha.
Whatever evil act I have done,
Whatever evil act I have done,
bringing an undesired fruit,
bringing an undesired fruit.
I will confess it all
I will confess it all
in the presence of the Buddhas.
in the presence of the Buddhas.
May the Buddhas,
May the Buddhas,
the best of all the beings,
the best of all the beings,
who dwell in the 10 directions,
who dwell in the 10 directions,
whose minds are full of mercy and compassion,
whose minds are full of mercy and compassion,
may they watch over me.
may they watch over me.
Whatever evil, cruel act was done by me previously,
Whatever evil, cruel act was done by me previously,
I will confess it before the Buddhas.
I will confess it before the Buddhas.
Whatever evil I have done,
Whatever evil I have done,
by not attending to my parents,
by not attending to my parents,
by neglecting the Buddhas,
by neglecting the Buddhas,
by neglecting the good,
by neglecting the good,
whatever evil I have done,
whatever evil I have done,
by being drunk with the intoxication of authority,
by being drunk with the intoxication of authority,
or with the intoxication of privilege,
or with the intoxication of privilege,
or with the intoxication of youth,
or with the intoxication of youth,
whatever evil I have done,
whatever evil I have done,
by the application of foolish reasoning,
by the application of foolish reasoning,
by a mind dark with ignorance,
by a mind dark with ignorance,
under the influence of an evil friend,
under the influence of an evil friend,
with a mind distracted by impurities,
with a mind distracted by impurities,
under the compulsion of pleasure,
under the compulsion of pleasure,
through the influence of anxiety or anger,
through the influence of anxiety or anger,
or through unsatisfied avarice,
or through unsatisfied avarice.
whatever evil I have done,
Whatever evil I have done,
by my association with ignoble people,
by my association with ignoble people,
by reason of envy and greed,
by reason of envy and greed,
or out of guile or wretchedness,
or out of guile or wretchedness.
whatever evil I have done,
Whatever evil I have done,
by failure to gain mastery of my desires,
by failure to gain mastery of my desires,
in a time of fear,
in a time of fear,
or through passion and anger,
or through passion and anger,
when oppressed by hunger and thirst,
when oppressed by hunger and thirst.
whatever evil I have done,
Whatever evil I have done,
for the sake of food and drink,
for the sake of food and drink,
for the sake of clothing and shelter,
for the sake of clothing and shelter,
or for the sake of sex,
or for the sake of sex.
whatever evil I have done,
Whatever evil I have done,
of body, tongue, and mind,
of body, tongue, and mind,
I confess it all.
I confess it all.
Whatever disrespect I may have shown,
whatever disrespect I may have shown
to the Buddha, Dharma, or Sangha,
to the Buddha, Dharma, or Sangha,
I confess it all.
I confess it all.
Whatever disrespect I may have shown
Whatever disrespect I may have shown
towards bodhisattvas
towards bodhisattvas
and those who preach the Dharma,
and those who preach the Dharma,
or towards other meritorious beings,
or towards other meritorious beings,
I confess it all.
I confess it all.
Whatever evil I have done
Whatever evil I have done
through stupidity,
through stupidity,
from folly or pride and arrogance,
from folly or pride and arrogance,
through greed, hatred, and delusion,
through greed, hatred, and delusion,
I confess it all in the presence of the Buddhas.
I confess it all in the presence of the Buddhas.
Whatever severe evil I have done
Whatever severe evil I have done
in the oppression of existence,
in the oppression of existence,
or through foolish thought,
or through foolish thought,
in the presence of the Buddhas,
in the presence of the Buddhas,
I confess it all.
I confess it all.
And I confess that evil
And I confess that evil
which has been heaped up by me
which has been heaped up by me
in the oppression of birth,
in the oppression of birth,
by the various oppressions of bodily activity,
by the various oppressions of bodily activity,
in the oppression of the world,
in the oppression of the world,
in the oppression of the fleeting mind,
in the oppression of the fleeting mind,
in the oppression of impurities,
in the oppression of impurities,
caused by the foolish and stupid,
caused by the foolish and stupid,
in the oppression of the arrival of evil friends,
in the oppression of the arrival of evil friends,
in the oppression of fear,
in the oppression of fear,
in the oppression of craving,
in the oppression of craving,
in the oppression of hatred,
in the oppression of hatred,
and by the oppressions of folly and darkness,
and by the oppressions of folly and darkness,
in the oppression of the moment,
in the oppression of the moment,
in the oppression of time,
in the oppression of time,
by the oppressions of gaining merits,
by the oppressions of gaining merits,
standing before the Buddhas,
standing before the Buddhas,
and in their presence,
and in their presence,
I confess all this evil.
I confess all this evil. rejoicing in merits and praising the Buddha. I rejoice greatly at any good deed.
I rejoice greatly at any good deed
Done by any being,
done by any being,
whether in this world or any other.
whether in this world or any other.
I congratulate them and rejoice with them.
I congratulate them and rejoice with them
Through the merit gained by myself or them.
through the merit gained by myself or them,
By deeds of body, speech, or mind.
by deeds of body, speech, or mind.
May they touch excellent enlightenment.
May they touch excellent enlightenment.
And I extol the Buddha's virtues.
And I extol the Buddha's virtues
With body, voice, and faithful heart.
with body, voice, and faithful heart.
Yet when I praise the Buddha's excellence,
Yet when I praise the Buddha's excellence,
I can never exhaust the supreme merits.
I can never exhaust the supreme merits
Of even one drop of the ocean.
of even one drop of the ocean,
Of his virtue and knowledge.
of his virtue and knowledge.
The Buddha's body is brilliant with the color of gold.
The Buddha's body is brilliant with the color of gold.
He has the color of gold.
He has the color of gold,
Like the golden lord of mountains.
like the golden lord of mountains.
His body is radiant with the marks of excellence.
His body is radiant with the marks of excellence.
It is brilliant with the fine splendor of gold.
It is brilliant with the fine splendor of gold.
He is very pure.
He is very pure,
Serene like the king of mountains.
serene like the king of mountains.
He has the godlike voice.
He has the godlike voice,
The sweet voice of a high angel.
the sweet voice of a high angel.
He has the lion's roar.
He has the lion's roar,
The sound of a thundering cloud.
the sound of a thundering cloud.
The Buddha is an ocean.
The Buddha is an ocean
Of very pure, very flawless knowledge.
of very pure, very flawless knowledge.
The Buddha has supreme compassion.
The Buddha has supreme compassion
For the welfare of all beings.
for the welfare of all beings.
He delivers all beings from woe.
He delivers all beings from woe,
Releases creatures from the oceans of woe.
releases creatures from the oceans of woe,
Leads beings excellently on the path of peace.
leads beings excellently on the path of peace,
And gives every blessing to all.
and gives every blessing to all.
He is an excellent revealer
He is an excellent revealer
of the supreme meaning.
of the supreme meaning,
A leader of beings without number.
a leader of beings without number,
To the blessing of complete nirvana.
to the blessing of complete nirvana. entreating the Buddha to appear. Constantly, constantly, I recollect the Buddha.
Constantly, constantly, I recollect the Buddha.
And constantly, I long for a sight of him.
And constantly, I long for a sight of him.
And always, constantly,
And always, constantly,
I make a resolve in order to see the Buddha's sun.
I make a resolve in order to see the Buddha's sun.
Constantly kneeling on the ground,
Constantly kneeling on the ground,
I am consumed with longing
I am consumed with longing
to see the Buddha.
to see the Buddha.
Weeping pitifully for the sake of the leader,
Weeping pitifully for the sake of the leader,
I long to see him
I long to see him
who has attained supreme bliss.
who has attained supreme bliss.
I am constantly ablaze with the fire of longing.
I am constantly ablaze with the fire of longing.
Give me the cool water
Give me the cool water
of your appearance, O conqueror.
of your appearance, O conqueror.
Gladden me with your compassion.
Gladden me with your compassion.
Out of mercy and compassion,
Out of mercy and compassion,
show yourself to me.
show yourself to me.
Grant me your appearance,
Grant me your appearance,
a glimpse of your serene form,
a glimpse of your serene form,
for the world with its gods
for the world with its gods
has been delivered by you.
has been delivered by you.
For you have shown that all beings
For you have shown that all beings
are by nature a dream,
are by nature a dream,
like space,
like space,
like the sky by nature,
like the sky by nature,
resembling magical illusions or a mirage,
resembling magical illusions or a mirage,
like the moon's reflection
like the moon's reflection
on the still waters of a lake.
on the still waters of a lake.
Empty are all beings,
Empty are all beings,
so you have shown.
so you have shown.
And the sphere of the Tathagata
And the sphere of the Tathagata
is pure like crystal.
is pure like crystal.
The conqueror has entered the city
The conqueror has entered the city
of the supreme nectar of the Dharma.
of the supreme nectar of the Dharma.
He is able to bring to beings
He is able to bring to beings
unlimited blessings.
unlimited blessings.
The sphere of the Tathagata
The sphere of the Tathagata
is subtle, wonderful, and very profound.
is subtle, wonderful, and very profound.
Among all beings,
Among all beings,
none is able to know it.
none is able to know it.
Among even the greatest of the world's sages,
Among even the greatest of the world's sages,
none is able to know it.
none is able to know it.
Now I have no doubt
Now I have no doubt
concerning the sphere of the Buddha.
concerning the sphere of the Buddha.
May he therefore,
May he therefore,
out of mercy and compassion,
out of mercy and compassion,
show himself to me.
show himself to me. This is the closing section of the Puja, dedication for all beings. By this good act,
by this good act,
may I ere long become a Buddha.
may I ere long become a Buddha.
May I preach the Dharma
May I preach the Dharma
for the welfare of the world.
for the welfare of the world.
May I deliver beings oppressed by many woes.
May I deliver beings oppressed by many woes.
May I overcome Mara with his might.
May I overcome Mara with his might.
May I turn the wheel of the excellent Dharma.
May I turn the wheel of the excellent Dharma.
May I remain for inconceivable aeons.
May I remain for inconceivable aeons.
May I fulfill the 6 unrivaled perfections.
May I fulfill the 6 unrivaled perfections.
May I smite the impurities.
May I smite the impurities.
May I destroy woes.
May I destroy woes.
May I extinguish craving, hatred, and folly.
May I extinguish craving, hatred, and folly.
May I constantly recollect the great sages.
May I constantly recollect the great sages.
And may I always listen to their speech.
And may I always listen to their speech.
For it is noble.
For it is noble.
And by this good act,
and by this good act,
may I always find a meeting with the Buddhas.
May I always find a meeting with the Buddhas.
May I utterly avoid evil action.
May I utterly avoid evil action.
May I practice the good acts.
May I practice the good acts.
The source of all excellence.
The source of all excellence.
Everywhere in the spheres of all beings.
Everywhere in the spheres of all beings.
May all the woes of the world be extinguished.
May all the woes of the world be extinguished.
May the experience of misery touch no one.
May the experience of misery touch no one.
And may all beings be endowed with good fortune.
And may all beings be endowed with good fortune.
May they have beautiful, gracious, auspicious forms.
May they have beautiful, gracious, auspicious forms.
And continuously enjoy numberless blessings.
And continuously enjoy numberless blessings.
May there be not one being of angry look.
May there be not one being of angry look.
May they all be of noble aspect.
May they all be of noble aspect.
Creating light for one another.
Creating light for one another.
May all their desires be fulfilled.
May all their desires be fulfilled.
As soon as they think of them.
As soon as they think of them.
Through their merit and its fruit.
Through their merit and its fruit.
May all beings constantly witness.
May all beings constantly witness.
The Buddhas of the 10 directions.
The Buddhas of the 10 directions.
May they hear them expound the Dharma.
May they hear them expound the Dharma.
May they all find the Sangha.
May they all find the Sangha.
The evil acts performed by me.
The evil acts performed by me.
Committed in the misery of life.
committed in the misery of life,
evil acts bringing an undesired fruit.
evil acts bringing an undesired fruit.
May they all be destroyed without remainder.
May they all be destroyed without remainder.
May all beings who dwell in the bondage of life,
May all beings who dwell in the bondage of life,
bound with the firm fetters of cyclic existence,
bound with the firm fetters of cyclic existence,
may they be delivered from their bondage
may they be delivered from their bondage
by the gentle hands of wisdom.
by the gentle hands of wisdom.
May they be delivered completely
May they be delivered completely
from all their woes.
from all their woes.
May they all become Buddhas.
May they all become Buddhas.
For some of us, it's very late. Thank you to everyone who stayed up, stayed with us in the dark. And thanks for everyone who got up in the light. It's been a very beautiful, rich day. Thank you to Sravaniya for playing us out. It reminded me of what I imagine the noise of the song of phoenixes to be as they play in the sun at either end of the day. So let's take a minute more just to set our intentions together for the new year in the light of the Puja, in the light of the praises to the Buddha, the sloughing off of all the things that hold us back. And if you can give to future Dharma, I'm sure that the people who work on that team will rejoice to wake up in the morning and find that they've had all of your love flowing to them overnight in their amazing work that helps support things like this, which is just freely given, which is the best way to do things. I'm sure you'll agree. Links in the chat. And if you'd like to, you can just unmute yourself and take whatever leave you'd like of all your friends in the Sangha for this first virtual Sangha day in the whole of history. First ever. They might write sutras about this someday. You should be able to unmute yourself now.
Thank you very much, everyone. Fantastic.
Beautiful.
Lovely to connect with you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Sadhu.
Good
Sadhu.
night. Good morning,
very
Sadhu.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, all of you. Jai Bhim.
Jai Bhim.
Jai Bhim.
Thanks,
Maybe.
Ruchi. Thanks, Viriyalila, Sravaniya.
Thank you,
Candradasa,
everybody. Lovely way
Suddhayu.
to finish.
Thank you, Ruchi K2.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for
everybody.
those who've
Thank
read
you,
Sepan
sir.
Buddhist Centre. Thank you, Kashi Jyoti, if you've been doing this.